Today we're going to be talking about the Miami Dolphins. We're going to be talking about the future of the Miami Dolphins. We're even going to ask the question, can the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs in 2018? I think whenever you dissect this team, whenever you try to go in depth and talk about this team, you got to start with the head chief, the head man in charge. You got to start with the head coach in Adam Gase. You look at Adam Gase in 2016, his first year with the Miami Dolphins. The team went 10-6. You've seen improvement with Ryan Tannehill. You've seen the emerge of Jay Ajayi. You even seen Jarvis Landry, in my opinion, become a better player, take that next step as a wide receiver. There's a lot of discussions, and we're going to get into that later about Jarvis Landry right now with his contract situation. And we're going to talk about that a little later. And to me, that 2016 season in Adam Gates' first year, that team wasn't a very talented team. You just seen players make names for themselves. You've seen players play very well. You've seen a player in Jay Ajayi become one of the best backs in the league. You've seen Kenny Stills emerge and be one of the best wide receivers that the Miami Dolphins have with his 10 touchdowns in 2016. You've even seen a player in Deion Sims who I think played very well. I don't know why the Miami Dolphins got rid of Deion Sims, but they did, and you seen him go get him a contract. You seen a player in Tony Lipick and Kiko Alonso played very well. We know that Ndamukong Suh is one of the best defensive tackles in the league. But we just seen players go out there and play hard for their coach, and they it was a different feeling in 2016 with the Miami Dolphins. They had this underdog chip. It was us against the world. You know, nobody believed in them. Everybody thought they was frauds, and they just went out there and they just kept believing. Now we're going to go into the 2018, the second year of Adam Gase. And we're going to start with when Ryan Tannehill went down. And when Ryan Tannehill went down, that put the Miami Dolphins in a tough position. Because even me, I thought Ryan Tannehill was going to take that next step up under Adam Gase' offense. You've seen improvement the first year of Adam Gase working with Ryan Tannehill. So I thought that Ryan Tannehill was going to take that next step. And then all of a sudden, Ryan Tannehill got hurt. And when the Miami Dolphins got the news that Ryan Tannehill was going to be out for the whole year, I'm assuming that this happened. Mike Tannenbaum, Chris Greer, and Adam Gase had a meeting. Either Mike Tannenbaum or Chris Greer went to Adam Gase and say, hey Adam, Ryan Tannehill is going to be out for the whole year. What's the next step? What do you think we should do? Now, I'm going to put this out there. I'm under the belief that the Miami Dolphins should have went with Matt Moore. Matt Moore stepped in 2016 and he beat the Buffalo Bills. He came back and he beat the Arizona Cardinals. The most convincing win that the Miami Dolphins had in 2016 was up under Matt Moore when the Miami Dolphins blew out the New York Jets on that Saturday night game. So I'm under the belief that the Miami Dolphins should have rolled with Matt Moore. But Adam said, listen, I know somebody. And I'm just going to assume that Mike Tannenbaum and Chris Greer looked at each other and said, you do? And Adam said, yeah. Why don't we call Jay Cutler? And Mike Tannenbaum and Chris Greer looked at each other and probably said, Jay Cutler? And I'm just going to assume in that meeting at that particular time that Adam Gase started to convince Mike Tannenbaum and Chris Greer how Jay Cutler is a good quarterback and how Jay Cutler had his best year up under Adam Gase. And listen, the Miami Dolphins went 10-6. So the Miami Dolphins ain't need a superstar quarterback. Adam Gase probably was under belief. Listen, you guys, we just need somebody to keep this ship afloat, to keep this ship from sinking. We went 10-6. So he probably thought in his mind, at least Jay Cutler could come in and we at least can go 9-7 and 10-6 again and still be in a playoff hunt. But it didn't turn out exactly how Adam Gase imagined it to. Now, I want you guys to be prepared because I'm going to tear Jay Cutler and Adam Gase a new asshole. But before I tell Jay Cutler a new asshole, I want to be fair to Jay Cutler. Because Jay Cutler was sitting at home with his supermodel wife and his kids, and he was just chilling, getting ready to go in the booth. Adam Gase called him and offered him $10 million. If somebody offered you $10 million, you're going to take it. You're gonna take that $10 million. So I don't blame Jay Cutler. So let's start with the Miami Dolphins' first game of the season, which was week 2 against the Los Angeles Chargers. Remember, the Miami Dolphins had their bye week 1 of the NFL season. They were supposed to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but because of the hurricane and everything that happened in Florida, the Miami Dolphins' bye week was week 1. So let's go into week 2, the Miami Dolphins versus the Los Angeles Chargers. And I actually thought that Jay Cutler looked it pretty good. I thought he didn't make any big mistakes. He didn't do anything great. He didn't light the Chargers up. But I thought he played smart. I thought he protected the football. And I just thought he played a nice, clean game. And the Miami Dolphins beat the San Diego Chargers. Now we're gonna skip over some games. Now by week 6, the Miami Dolphins was 4-2. Now, if I would have told you going into the 2016 season, Ryan Tannehill went down, everything that the Miami Dolphins have went through, that the Miami Dolphins would be by week 6, 4-2, you would have took that. You would have been like, okay, that's a pretty good start to the NFL season. Then the Baltimore Ravens game happened. And let me say this, I'm a horror movie type of guy. I like Jason, I like Michael Myers, I like Freddy. Anything that has to do with horror, I love horror movie. But when I watched that Baltimore Raven game versus the Miami Dolphins, that was the most scariest thing that I ever seen. After watching that game, I slept with my lights on, I slept with the TV on, I slept with my blankie. I called my mom, I called my girlfriend, asked my girlfriend to spend the night with me. That was a scary game. The Baltimore Ravens destroyed the Miami Dolphins. And even though the Miami Dolphins got embarrassed on the national stage, on primetime TV, in front of all of America, to me, Adam Gase panicked. I thought Adam Gase overreacted. When you go back and you look at the press conference after that Baltimore Ravens game, I thought Adam Gase called the players out, which to me was wrong. I thought Adam Gase, he threw Jay Ajayi up under the bus. And after that game, he actually traded Jay Ajayi. When you look at when Jay Ajayi was playing for the Miami Dolphins was 4-2. After that Baltimore Ravens game, they was 4-3. And the reason why I thought the Miami Dolphins was having success, because even though Jay Ajayi wasn't lighting the world on fire, he wasn't playing well, but the Miami Dolphins kept feeding him the ball. And because they kept feeding Jay Ajayi the ball, it took the ball out of Jay Cutler's hand. Jay Cutler wasn't making a lot of mistakes those first 6 games. Jay Cutler wasn't doing a lot of stupid shit. Jay Cutler wasn't throwing a lot of interceptions those first 6 games. And to me, when they traded away Jay Ajayi, that's when their season started to fall out of control. They started to put the ball in Jay Cutler's hands a little bit more. They started asking Jay Cutler to do a little bit more. And you see he couldn't handle it. He resorted back to that player that we all know from Chicago. And that player that the Chicago Bears fans was trying to warn the Miami Dolphins about. We seen his body language. He had a presence where it seemed like, he would throw an interception and he really just didn't give a damn. And to me, because Jay Cutler was playing so god-awful, it affected Adam Gase. It affected the way he was able to coach. You see he just, every other week he was calling out players. You seen him and Jarvis Landry going back and forth. It just seemed like the team was disengaged with him. You seen Matt Moore would go out there and Matt Moore played god-awful. Well, I never seen Matt Moore play so bad. I never seen Matt Moore play so terrible. It was almost like Matt Moore was picking up on Jay Cutler personality, because Matt Moore would go out there and he would throw an interception and he would make a bad play, and it looked like he didn't even give a damn. And I'm going to go on record and say this. I really feel like Matt Moore felt like Adam Gase was showing favoritism when it came down to Jay Cutler. Because if you go back in the preseason and look at Matt Moore and how he was playing whenever he got his opportunity to go out on the field, Matt Moore seemed like his mind was not with the Dolphins. And I think it had a lot to do with Jay Cutler's presence. I mean, listen, if you're Matt Moore, you're probably thinking to yourself, how long I've been with this team? How many years? How many bad teams? How many times I suffered with the Miami Dolphins, how many times I took a pay cut just to stay here because I love the city, because I love the fans, because I love the Miami Dolphin culture. And the moment that Ryan Tannehill goes down, you go call Jay Cutler? Jay Cutler? There's nobody that can convince me that Matt Moore couldn't lead the Miami Dolphins to a 6-10 record. I honestly think if Matt Moore was told that he was the starter from day one when Ryan Tannehill went down, that Miami Dolphins would probably went 9-7 or 8-8. That's what I believe. And I'm not saying that the Miami Dolphins would have went to the playoffs with Matt Moore. I just think if Matt Moore was told that he was the starter day one, the Miami Dolphins would have had a better record and they would have had a better team. And the feel of going into the 2018 season would be totally different. But no matter what we believe, I think we all can agree that the Jay Cutler experiment was a disaster. Now, let me get on the head coach, Adam Gates, because I thought that he took a step back as a head coach, because I thought he was overly emotional at times. I thought he panicked. I thought his body language was terrible. I just didn't like his demeanor. You just seen that the players was just completely not engaged with him. I thought other than Jay Cutler, he did not protect his team. He did not speak up for his team. So as of right now, I question if the Miami Dolphins have the right guy leading this team. And again, I'm going to reiterate. I'm not saying that the Miami Dolphins should go out and fire Adam Gates, because that's not the recipe for success. You don't fire your head coach every 2-3 years. You got to give him some time. But I question if he's the right guy leading this team. But who knows? Maybe Adam Gates has a bounce back season in 2018 and the Miami Dolphins go to the playoffs. And I want to talk a little bit about the future of this team. Then I'm going to get out of here. And I'm going to start with Ryan Tannehill, because everybody knows that the Dolphins get Ryan Tannehill back. But I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm not completely sold on Ryan Tannehill. Do I think that right now in his career he's better than Jay Cutler and Matt Moore? Yes, I do. But I'm still not sold on Ryan Tannehill. I do think that he did take a step in the right direction when Adam Gates came along. You saw improvement with the deep ball. I thought he started making less mistakes because he was once a turnover machine. But I'm still not sold on him. I think he hasn't proven anything to me. There's not a game that you can point out, or a moment that you can point out, rather, that you can say, well, that was the moment that you can say that Ryan Tannehill has the potential to be an elite quarterback. I don't believe that he's going to one day hold up that crystal ball, hold up that $1 million crystal ball, which is the Super Bowl trophy. I don't think that he's going to be the guy to lead the Miami Dolphins to the promised land. So I think if you're the Miami Dolphins, you should strongly consider drafting a quarterback in the first round or maybe the second round. Because if something was to happen to Ryan Tannehill, where Ryan Tannehill goes down, then I think you're back in the same predicament that you was in a 2017 season, where you're making a quick decision, where you're panicking, where you're going out there probably going to make a stupid trade for a quarterback. So I think you got to protect yourself and draft the quarterback in the earlier rounds. And I think if you're Adam Gates, you better be calling Ryan Tannehill up and say, Ryan, how you feeling? Ryan, are you getting better, or where you're at? Because if Ryan Tannehill takes a step back, I think Adam Gates is on the verge of losing his job. I don't think the Dolphins can afford to go 6-10 or 5-11 again, because I think if Adam Gates has another bad season, he may be on the hot seat. So if I'm Adam Gates, I'm texting Ryan Tannehill phone, making sure he's taking all the necessary steps, making sure he's doing whatever he has to do so he can be ready for the 2018 season. Because if you're Adam Gates, you do not want Ryan Tannehill taking this step back. And it don't even matter if Ryan Tannehill stays healthy the whole 2018 season. If Ryan Tannehill stays healthy the whole 2018 season, but still go out there and play garbage and still have a bad year, and the Miami Dolphins go 6-10 or 5-11, Adam Gates is getting fired. And if he don't get fired, he's damn sure going to be on the hot seat. You can take that to the bank and cash it. So if I'm Adam Gates, there's two things that I'm making sure. I'm making sure that Ryan Tannehill is healthy for the 2018 season, and I'm doing all I can to keep Jarvis Landry. And to get into a little bit of this Jarvis Landry discussion, and I know there's a lot of talks about Jarvis Landry, and this is what I'm going to do, because this video is kind of long. I'm going to make a Jarvis Landry video separate from this, where I go in depth of the Jarvis Landry situation. I'm going to give my thoughts and my opinions, and I'm going to make a video talking strictly about Jarvis Landry and what I think that the Miami Dolphins should do. So these are just my thoughts and my opinion on the 2017 season. I know I said I was gonna talk about the future of the Miami Dolphins, but this video is kind of long, so I'm gonna make a separate video talking about the future of the Miami Dolphins and do I think that we can be a playoff team in 2018. So y'all like, subscribe, share the video on Facebook, tell your mama about it, tell your daddy about it, tell all of your cousins. Get the video out there so the Miami Dolphins fans can come along. I'm trying to grow the channel, and I thank y'all for y'all support. Thank you.